The film Secretariat depicts the story of a racehorse named Secretariat, or Big Red as originally called. His success winning the Triple Crown is the premise of the film, taking place in the 1970s in Virginia, Colorado, and Kentucky. The Triple Crown consists of 3-year-old thoroughbred horses racing in the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. Starting out the movie, Penny Chenery of Meadow Stable is the new owner of Secretariat after he's just born. The movie shows Penny in financial struggles, desperately needing the stable to survive on account of this horse's winnings. Penny's father gets ill and passes away in '63, leaving Chenery with the stable's fate. Disney is criticized for these details, as the Chenery family had actually been in high financial status and merely wanted to live on the legacy of the father's business. After Penny Chenery hires the seemingly reluctant and retired Lucien Lauren to train Secretariat, she sets out to find a jockey, finalizing with the decision of the youthful Paul Feliciano. 2-year-old Secretariat starts running in a few races, however, rising doubt in this colt grows as he lands 4th place in his first race at the Aqueduct racetrack. Lucien blames the jockey for this loss, so Penny sets out to find new, more experienced jockeys. Ron Turcotte was hired, who was more experienced and renowned in his sport. Following this change, Secretariat ended up winning 5 of the races, but this is dimly shown by the motion picture. Many races were merely mentioned. Upsettingly, the movie also pays no attention to Penny Chenery's other colt, River Ridge. It is portrayed as if Secretariat was Chenery's first personal horse racing experience, but River Ridge had additionally been trained by Lucien Lauren and won the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes in 1972, the year before Secretariat ran. In Secretariat's final preparatory race for the Kentucky Derby, he upsettingly lands 3rd in the Wood Memorial race due to a large abscess in his mouth. Eddie Sweat, a thoroughbred horse racing groomer, hardly left his side and was shown caretaking him and watching over him until he began to eat again and showing signs of ready health. Sweat is shown throughout the movie beside Secretariat, exercising him, feeding him, and making sure he is acting healthy. This man truly is known for spending more time beside the horse than any. Sweat was hired to the stables as a young boy, although the film rather omits that explanation from its plotline. Back in Colorado was Kate Chenery, daughter of Penny, who was a student and partook in several Vietnam War protests with fellow classmates. Taking place in the 70s, it was said Secretariat was set highly in the media, and the nation kept high interest in this athlete as a way to distract from the Nixon scandals, such as the Watergate and the Vietnam War issues. At the final race, there were anti-war protesters shown evidently throughout the crowd. Throughout the Triple Crown, Secretariat was opposing a horse named Sham, trained by Frank Pancho Martin. The movie shows Pancho as a very sexist antagonist, which may relate to the time period generally. However, many criticize this characterization, as the real-life Pancho had not been arrogant nor sexist in his personal conversations and press interviews.
Pancho, some people think Secretariat didn't appear to be himself in Wood Memorial.
Didn't appear to be himself. Is that journalismese for getting your butt whipped? Horse racing is unforgiving for trainers, horses, and housewives.
Traditions were very emphasized. Spectators wore decorated hats, and the Rose Belt was placed upon Secretariat following his victories. Secretariat broke records and became the 9th Triple Crown winner in history, being the first in 25 years. People who recall the real Secretariat will tell you this film was not indeed all fact. Simple physical features of the real Secretariat were not similar. Secretariat, they say, had a much bigger feature than the small build shown in the film. Bigger muscles really defined the 3-sock chestnut horse and its natural athleticism. As a Disney movie, the main reason for this horse's success was explained in the film as it knowing it had to win. However, the secret of Secretariat is actually that its heart was found 2 sizes larger than an average thoroughbred's heart. This astonishing truth was not stated in the film. So is the Disney movie Secretariat fact, or is it fiction? Although the time period's protests, fashion, automobiles, and gender-biased attitudes were properly aligned with the 1970s, this movie's portrayal of Secretariat is rather fictional. Names may be accurate, as well as the announcing of the finished race's time records, but the attitudes of these persons were said to be much different than the real existing people. Half of Chenery's horse racing career had been left out with River Ridge, alongside Secretariat's unique heart was not at all explained to the film's audience. While this film portrays a fascinating storyline that could make sense for the Nixon time period it was set in, there's little evidence that the true social aspects this movie tried to focus on. For example, Penny's husband was much less snobbish than his film's expose. Lauren was much less arrogant and flamboyant and much more calm and simplified. Poncho was a sweetheart rather than a sexist assailant, and Secretariat was a perfect machine of genetics and equine buildup that cannot be grasped physically by the looks of this sentimental picture. It is true that Secretariat had indeed won the Triple Crown of 1973, but the story of this athlete was ultimately altered to fiction by the production that put this inspiring family film together.